Hello, this is a Jeep Liberty CRD 2005, and this video hopefully will assist you in removing the turbo. The video will be somewhat abbreviated just for the sake of time, so I've already have things loosened up so that I can just remove them one at a time for your benefit. We start off with the cover, the engine cover. Simply loosen the oil filler and then pull up, remove that, and then pull up hard on the cover. It will come loose of the snaps. And there are four snaps. That's off. Next thing I took off is the air cleaner. The wires come off first. Simply unplug the wires. There's one down here in front, wire harness, another one here. Release this clamp and the two snap clamps in the front. This comes off. Next, the box, the filter, and then this box. The way to get this box is to grab it firmly and pull straight out. It has a little rubber plug that simply snaps into the frame. Next, remove the clamps from the air hose coming to the turbo. There will be a clamp at the turbo. Down here, another one here, and this hose comes off. Okay, next, loosen up this is the big air hose coming to the front of the turbo. There's a clamp down there that gets loosened up with a Phillips screwdriver, and I already have it loose, so that just comes straight out. First, release it from the top of the valve cover, and then the whole thing comes out. There you go. Next, I removed the coolant recovery tank to give further access to the turbo. So that comes off. It has a wire harness that clips in on the bottom, several hoses. But first, before removing it, you have to pump out the coolant. And I just used a little vacuum pump to save the coolant into a canister. Okay, we'll put that aside. Next, we can now see the turbo. That's located down here. I had to get down here and release the exhaust pipe, and it has a screw clamp like a saddle. Took that loose, and then the exhaust pipe just drops away from the back side of the turbo. Okay, this is the vacuum assist, or the vacuum modulator. I took that loose in order to access the, get a better light here. Access the bolt that holds the oil supply line, and that bolt came out easily. Now, before attempting to take out any of the turbo bolts, you need to use blaster penetrating oil for at least 3 to 4 hours on all the bolts. This bracket came off the bottom. It is the turbo. It's below the turbo. I was able to remove 10mm bolt from the top of the vehicle, and then I jacked up the vehicle to remove the other two. Those are 10mm bolts. The vacuum actuator bolts, or 3 of them, 8mm. Oil supply bolt, the top is a 14mm, and the turbo cover that needs to come off as well has 3 13mm bolts. On the underside, and I had to jack up the vehicle to do this, is the oil return line. Goes from the bottom of the turbo back into the engine, and that's just simply pushed in there, just a force fit. This seems to have a gasket that's fallen apart. I have a leak in the turbo. These are 10mm bolts and has to be done from down below. Now, the bolts that hold, there are 4 nuts that hold the turbo on to the engine, or rather the exhaust manifold. That's the hardest part. And these are accessed. 2 can be accessed from the top. Excuse me, all 4 can be accessed from the top of the vehicle. After the turbo cover comes off, also the oil supply, the bottom oil supply line has to come off. That's this one here. Otherwise it covers up 2 of the nuts that holds on the turbo. This is about a 5-hour job. And I have everything loose except 2 more nuts, which I'll be working on next. I hope this video is somewhat helpful to you.